This week's topic is mental health and kind of just in general the day-to-day stuff that comes along with Turner syndrome. And as a special guest, I have my dad on the podcast today.
Hi, I'm Nate. I'm Grace's dad, and I thought I would hop on here. And if you guys had any questions about, some of the mental health strategies that we have or what we kind of do, on a regular basis, to help with Turner syndrome, I'm more than happy to answer some of the questions you guys might have or be able to help you out anyway.
Yeah. So I know that Turner syndrome does affect more of your mental health than others. Nate, have you noticed any difference between your other kids and Grace in terms of that? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh no, I mean mental health. Everybody has their own, mental health concerns. I mean, I haven't really noticed more or less with Grace. But that's something that we try to kind of keep an eye out with Grace, because it is been noted that Turner syndrome may have a little more inclination with some mental health strategies. So we've kind of worked and we've talked to some doctors and stuff, and we've you know try to make sure that we're exercising and try to keep a good tabs on it and kind of keep ourselves distracted and some of those things.
I mean, I have been on anxiety medicine since I was like 12, I think, right? Or 13.
Yes, yeah, we had some chats with some counselors and stuff, and they recommended some medications that you've been taking pretty regularly, and I believe that helps. But we also try to stay busy, try to keep focused on some other stuff, and try not to leave too much downtime out there, so that we don't have time to you know fall back into some mental health kind of concerns, or feeling bad or feeling upset because of all the struggles that are Turner syndrome. We try to focus away from those and only deal with them when they need to be dealt with, like when we're going to the doctors or we're going to the clinics, or
Yeah.
when we have to deal with this stuff. We try to distract and keep that in the background. It's always there, but we really want to do stuff that doesn't remind us of the difficulties that we have.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Like growing up, I was always very involved in like school and doing like clubs to keep me busy.
I think my dad has kind of had a bit of a different approach. Like, I have kind of always been very aware of Turner syndrome and like all of that. And I think it's kind of like, yeah, it sucks, but there's not much more else we can do about it kind of approach. Like, you do what you do until, like, you can't.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's definitely a good approach as well. I mean, we've always been very open with Grace about all the struggles, as far as like the fertility and some of the heart stuff, and we've always probably talked to her more as an adult at a younger age, that she's had to deal with some of these things a lot earlier than say this other people that you know when they're in their 20s, or in their 30s, and they're trying to deal with fertility or any of this other stuff, because all of that kind of goes toward the mental health and kind of how you feel about yourself. So we tried very young, that she was probably a lot more adult than a lot of the other girls at her age, and that can be very difficult on the mental side of things as well.
Yeah, kind of having to growing up faster.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I do relate to having to grow up faster, not just due to TS. In my case, it was like I had to deal with a father who has PTSD, same with my mom, and it's just there's some things you kind of had to pick up on really, really fast.
Definitely. Mary, because you're also on the call, do you have any questions?
Yeah, thank you for coming on, Mr. Vidal. I was I was just wondering, since we were talking about mental health, are you like a psychologist or anything like that, or are these just things that you've kind of learned over the years, just going through life and also bringing up your kids?
Yeah, I'm not a professional by any sense of the means. I'm just a parent of a daughter with Turner syndrome. I also have, we have her older brother, and her younger sister, and we just try to deal with our day to day mental health as well. I mean, all of us have stuff going on that makes us anxious or bothers us, or a little bit of the seasonal depression kind of stuff like that too. So
Mm-hmm.
we always try to talk and be very vocal and talk to each other when we're having issues, either by ourselves or all together. So that just basically from my experience as a father.
Um, and my mom also, I think she works at like a school, a Title I school, and is a special ed parent. So I think she kind of also has had some experience with that.
Yeah, she sees a lot of different behaviors that are far more. Well, I don't want to say far more, but she sees a lot of children with different needs and
Yeah,
different
struggles
struggles of their own. So, from autism to
like ADHD.
ADHD, yes, exactly, to learning disabilities, to all across the board, from being in a school with elementary school age children. So, she has definitely probably more experience than I do, but I kind of wanted to pop on and kind of give it from a dad's perspective.
And I mean, even if so, she has kind of taught you a little bit too. So I think you all kind of as experience as her because he kind of brought that experience into you.
Of course. And you brought a lot of experience into me too. So as we go through this and figure it out together as a family, it's always changing.
Definitely.
Yeah, I do agree. I feel like, I mean, with Turner syndrome, especially, it's like not every family is going to deal with it in the same way, and that shouldn't be the case. It's a person by person thing. Like, I'm going to need some care with some things that Grace won't need, and Grace is going to need care with some things that I don't need. And that doesn't make any one of us like better than the other. It just means that some of us have some things to work on that the other person doesn't. And that's true with honestly everybody who has Turner syndrome in one way or another. Or anybody who has like any mental problems, whether it be like psychological or like cognitive.
Yeah, the thing with Turner syndrome, there's a lot of things that can happen, and especially if you're mosaic like I am, where not all your cells are missing the X chromosome, it can be sort of a patchwork of things you have, or you just don't necessarily have all the problems. So maybe worrying about every single problem is an unnecessary stress.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's the hard thing about Tony, but we all have like such different issues. Like it's not like black and like white where we all have the same issues or don't.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. There's no cookie cutter on there. I mean, we've done some Turner syndrome meetings and groups here in Colorado, because they have a pretty good support system here in Colorado with the clinic that they have at Children's Hospital, and then we have our the board that does the walks, and then we have like meetings. They have educational meetings and seminars, and we get together with a lot of the other girls, more so when Grace was younger. And yeah, there's no cookie cutter. I mean, this Turner syndrome is not. It doesn't affect all the girls the same, and some may have more mental health struggles than other, or learning disabilities more than others, and it's just a matter of adapting and figuring out what areas that you need to tackle, because it is very unique, and it is very different, and it is not. You can't put it in a small box. It's not gonna fit.
Mhm. Yeah, and I definitely think there's been times where I struggled more than, but I cannot speak. I think there's times where I've struggled more than others too. Like I think I really struggled in like middle school, I say, or like late elementary school, and then I got better. But then like it just kind of all depends like on it.
I think what can also affect is like typically also how a person is raised. Like for me, I am very good at kind of reading emotions and how people respond, and it's because I kind of had. Oh, sorry, I dropped my computer.
It's
Um,
okay.
it's kind of because I had to learn how to be like very good at reading emotions and stuff, and other people really aren't that good, and that's okay. we shouldn't really expect everybody with Turner syndrome to be the same.
No, and honestly, at the group, we all do have such different personalities and way of seeing things.
Oh, definitely. I do not disagree with that.
Do you guys have any more questions for like my dad?
I don't think so. Do we want to end the podcast here?
Did you, Mr. Badon, did you have anything else you wanted to say about kind of your experience having a child with Turner syndrome?
Yeah, Grace is pretty awesome, and she's actually taught me a lot. She's given me a level of probably patience that I might not have had without having Grace around. There's a lot of strengths within her, and I know all you girls that I just hope everybody has a chance to get to know you all. Hopefully you're not having any struggles with friendships or anything like that. But I just think everybody deserves to know you and be able to. I'm trying to think of my words here, but I think you guys are definitely all worth knowing, and you definitely bring a unique perspective to the views of the world, and I just hope everybody again gets a chance to know you guys and help make them better people.
That makes a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, thank you for being here to talk about this, Mr. Budon. It's been really great having you. And we'll see you next week.